Welcome to this series on Service Cloud project implementation. Before jumping into the actual demo session on this Service Cloud project implementation, let me introduce myself. I am Sivaramakrishna and I hold a 13 years of industry experience, out of which 9 years of Salesforce experience. I've majorly worked into industries like automobiles, finance, airlines, and utilities. And during this 9 years of course, I was into Service Cloud implementation for most of my time. So before going into what is Service Cloud and what does this course offer you, let me also introduce about few things about the project. So for any project in real time, it's not like only you know the technicalities of that project. It's not the only thing that is overall that project will be doing. So there are many things that comes into project implementation, like project from start to end, how it is being carried out, what is the process involved in project implementation. We will be discussing more on that in this today's session. So for that, let me go into the next slide where we will understand how project is carried. So to understand how project is carried, first of all, we should understand various audiences involved in the process. So what does that mean? So when a project comes to a particular company, there are many people who are involved in this project, and there are many people who are responsible to make it successful. So we should understand each one's role, because tomorrow when we are joining the company and we are into the project as a developer or as a lead or a technical architect, so we should be collaborating with many people. It's a teamwork. So to understand each person, like what are their roles? So we should understand their actual roles and who are those people in the project. So for that, to understand, let me give you some example. So there are two entities that we need to understand here. One is the vendor. Vendor is like companies who do the project, and other is the client. So the client is a company who gives the project to the vendor. So for that, let me take an example. Okay. So think like there's one company who is a product company and they are selling refrigerators. Okay. And their business is to sell refrigerators. So when you think in that perspective, there are many people involved in their business, right? Coming with the sales people who sells the refrigerator. There are some contact center people who do some service, like once there is a repair for the fridge, right, or refrigerator, there are so many people who are involved to give the service and for the maintenance. So these people are in service. There are some marketing people who market their product. Like suppose today I'm introducing a new product to the company, it's to the world. I should also market, right? So think like there are various refrigerator, and my refrigerator is very popular. But tomorrow I'm coming up with a new refrigerator version, new refrigerator product. So I just want to market that. So there are marketing people who do that. Then comes HR people who are local HR people who will take care of their business employees, and there is the inventory team. There is R&D team actually who is the persons who will be designing the refrigerator. There are engineering team who will be doing that, developing that refrigerator. So there are various people who are involved in this business. So for that, think like and there is one important people which we will be considering for our project actually. Those we call it as product owners. So who are these product owners? So when this refrigerator company is into business, they're into sales business, and they're selling their refrigerator very huge, but they treat like their service is not so good. They got because remarks, and they understood like there is no proper system with them to do the service. Okay. So what does that mean actually? Let us understand. So whenever I'm selling the product, the next step is once the product is sold, uh, there are people who wants the service from you. So to do that, they want this service. What do you say? Service system which they want to design. Okay, they don't know to design, so they come to us. But who will be taking the requirements? Like because as a vendor company, I'm not aware of your business and what kind of service you want to provide and what kind of system you want. So there are few people who knows the system very well. They know their product very well, and they know what is the requirement which they want to give to the customers. So those guys are called product owners. So these guys maybe in the higher higher level of management in the product company, or they know very well about the system and they know what they want from the system. So they come to the client and sorry, the vendor company, and they will tell, okay, these are my requirements. You need to fulfill. Okay, this is the way the project will be coming to some company, X company. Okay, so once I know the product owners, okay, these are the guys who knows the requirement properly. They know the system very well. System, I mean the product very well. So those are the guys which always you have to keep in mind while doing a project in the live. Okay. Next comes the two people, project managers and scrum masters. So project managers, as the name suggests, he will be the head of the project from the vendor end. So the first person is from the person is the client's person. The product owners are from client. The rest of the team, maximum 80%, it will be from the vendor. Okay, vendor is like service based companies who will be providing you the service to the client. Okay, so the project owner who is responsible to taking care of this project implementation and delivering the solution to the client on time. Okay, on time and without any major issues. Okay, that is the role of the project manager, and he will be interacting with you every day. And maybe if at all you are a developer, he may not be interacting with you daily, but so weekly, maybe he'll be interacting with you, understanding what is your challenges. Okay. The next comes Scrum Master, very important person. So nowadays, every project we deal in a model called Agile model. Okay. Earlier we used to have waterfall model, but no one is using it. Now we are going with the Agile model, where in the Agile model, what happens is you will be delivering the requirements. So now the product owners have given the requirements to us. Now you will be delivering the requirements one by one, not at a time. So it may be 1 month at a 1 month at a time. You want to deliver first few requirements. After that, few more requirements in next month. Like that, that 1 month duration, we call it a sprint. Okay, each sprint you will be having set of requirements. You will be delivering it, and it will go to the next sprint. So to manage that and to take care of all this, the delivery dates, the requirements, the requirement gathering, everything will be done by one headmaster. He is called Scrum Master. Okay, and he is the responsible, and he is the person you always daily in the morning you will be interacting with him, because he will be asking you the updates. Like from each and every person, he will be asking the updates. Suppose in the Scrum calls, there may be managers who will be joining, there may be architects who will be joining. Everyone should give their update, saying like, okay, today I did this, tomorrow I'll be doing this. This is the duration I'll be taking for this particular requirement. Like that, you everyone will be giving their updates. Okay, it's a stand-up call we call. Okay. So this is the guy who is most important, and he's behind you every day to know what is your status. So you need to give the status like, okay, I have completed this, still this is requirement. And you have to flag him saying like, okay, this requirement can't be completed within this particular frame of time. So you have to tell him. So he is the person who is going to take care of the project plan. Even he will also have the information about who is going on leave, any holidays. So everything he will be communicating with the client. Next comes the business analyst. Now, this guy is an important person in any project. Okay. Now, I have a product owner, and they have given me the requirements. To whom they will be giving the requirements? There should be some person who will be taking their requirements and understand their requirements, and there should be a person who uh, tells that requirements to us. Us here means developers or technical leads or technical architects. Okay. So there's one person. That person is called business analyst. He is the important person who will understand the business given by the product owners, and he will understand end to end about that refrigerator company. Everything he'll understand properly, and he will write those requirements in each line by line. He'll be taking those requirements, and he will be converting those requirements into something called stories. In Agile, we call it as stories. Okay. So what does, I'll just give an example. Suppose there is requirements that product owners are telling, and he's noting down in a notepad, and that note, like the Word document has come up to 10 pages. Okay. So he cannot tell all 10 pages in one shot, right? So what he will do, he will break each half page into one requirement, and he will be creating each half page into one story. So like that, he will be creating 10 stories or 20 stories based on the requirement. Okay. So that guy is going to note down all this requirement and he will be creating stories into a tool called Jira, which I'll be sharing you those knowledge also. But yeah, that is what this business analyst guy. So he's a person who will make sure that your team, now the vendor team has testers, testing leads, developers, technical architect, solution architect. There are many people in the vendor side, right? So he will be explaining to them, everyone, saying like, okay, this is a requirement. Please, everyone, please understand this. And each role, like suppose I am a technical architect, I need to design it. If I'm a developer, I should understand the development. How should I develop it? If I'm a test lead, I should understand how to write a test plan for it. If I'm a test analyst, I should know the requirement so that I can test it. So for every person, this guy will be explaining the requirements in a separate call. We call refinement calls or sprint calls. Okay. So that's the important guy. Next comes solution architect. You see, this is a guy. So, so when a requirement comes, same, the product company has given a requirement for service. So they want as a call center requirement. Okay. Now, when they come, how how will a particular person will convince saying like, okay, Salesforce is the thing which you will be doing. Okay, I can achieve your requirement into Salesforce. Maybe there are various systems out, right? Like there is a Microsoft Dynamics. You can also do in some other languages like in Java or .NET. So the same requirement can be done in various technologies. But how can you make sure like, okay, Salesforce is the right tool to complete your requirements? So that information will be given by solution architect to the client, saying like, okay, if you use Salesforce, you have all these benefits. So you have to go with Salesforce. He will analyze and tell you the right tools to the product owners and to the client company so that they will purchase the product, because you have to purchase the product when you want to do a product into that. Like if you want to work on Salesforce Service Cloud, you need to purchase the license. So he will tell you all those details, and based on that, client will be taking a call. Okay. And in our requirement, just take that ours is a Salesforce project. So already it's been decided by the client. So okay, Salesforce is the best tool to meet our requirements. Okay, so this guy is going to do that. Next comes technical architect. So technical architect will come after the requirements are gathered. Like when the requirements are gathered, now I know I'll be developing everything in Salesforce. So for a particular requirement, think like I want to create a particular a child record when a parent record has been created. So now this requirement can be done using Apex. You can do using Flow. If at all you want some UI, you will also use screen flows, or you can use LWC. So how you will decide which one is more suitable for that particular scenario and more easy to achieve and maintainable. So maintainable and scalability, all this will come into picture, because today if you're writing some code and if tomorrow some other code comes, if you're rewriting everything, then it's not correct. So this is the person who will tell you, okay, this is the best way to write this logic. This functionality can be achieved using this best way. Like maybe one functionality I can only do with LWC, but many functionalities I can do with screen flows. Similarly, one functionality I can only do with triggers and Apex, but many functionalities which are easy and medium range of complexity, we can achieve using record trigger flows or auto launch flows. So he is a person who is going to design it and tell you so that we will implement. Like we means developers will be implementing it. Next comes technical lead, as in this is suggesting. So technical architects are few people who will be involved into various projects. He's not going to work with only one single client and one single project. So he'll not be always available. So there should be next higher technical guy who can maintain and who can answer clients any questions, right? So that's the guy. He's a technical lead who knows better than normal developers. So he can take it forward the project and technical wise, okay? Any issues if developers have any issues, okay? So he's the right person, like he's the senior most developer, if you want to say. Next comes developers. As we know, we will be developing using various tools, and there are maybe multiple developers in the project, okay? Next comes test lead, who is the lead to take care of testing team, okay? He'll be writing the test plans, test duration, everything, test scripts, everything he will be doing it. And their test analysts are who will be testing it. Next comes deployment team. Deployment team is like once your code is being developed, you need to deploy it to the higher environments. Why we need to develop to the higher environments? Because when we do the development, we'll be doing in our local environments or the developer sandboxes. So, but if testing team has to test this, it should be into QA environment, right? So that deployment will be done by some other team who will be managing using some various tools. So you'll be pushing the code from one environment to other environment. Like once the testing team has been conducting the completed the testing, it will go to the product owners who will also be testing your logic so that once they approve, it will go to the production. So deployment team is also very important. So in every day to day, these are the few people who will be interacting every day. Like still there are various other teams, like there may be external teams, like suppose you are into your project is also into integration. There are other teams other than Salesforce. Like suppose your some data of your product is being stored in mainframe. So you need to interact with the mainframe, right? So you need to do that integration. So MuleSoft developers will come into picture. If at all you're using middleware as MuleSoft, then this MuleSoft developers will be communicating with the mainframe team. So the mainframe team is totally different from your Salesforce team. So you need to speak with them. So you'll be interacting with various people there. Okay, but on a high level for the Salesforce, these are the minimum for any project, any not only Salesforce, any technology. These are the minimum people who will be interacting with you every day. Okay. Now, next comes, let's go into actual topic. What is Service Cloud? Okay. So as you see, the caption says like the first point which you see here, where sales ends, service starts. Okay. So what does that mean? Okay, for the same example, when you take a product, you are very good at the selling the product. So you have introduced a new product, refrigerator, new brand. Now you sold that product in one of the city, and you are very popular, and all your units of 1,000 units are being sold on day one itself. Okay, because of your goodwill. Okay. Now, once that is been done, the first step is okay. I have my refrigerator. There are various people who doesn't know how to operate it. The first step is you need to send some technicians to their houses. You need to make sure that it has been installed properly, and then it is make sure that it started working properly. So that's the first step. Okay. After that, after and as a while you are selling, you will also tell, okay, 3 years of warranty will be giving, 1 year of free service you will be giving, all these kinds of promises you will be doing. Okay, so so why service is required? So what are the different kinds of services you will be getting? Okay, I means request that for the services you will be getting. So before doing that, let us see this statement called why companies fail in providing proper service. So as per this survey, if at all a customer calls you, customer means you, he's already purchased your product and he has some issue with the product which he purchased. When a customer calls you and if you're not providing a proper response or proper service to him, 50% of the people will leave your company. Okay, they don't want your product anymore. And suppose the same customer, like if this repeats for more than 3 times for any particular customer, automatically he is out of your company. He's no longer needs your product. Okay, and what happens is he will also tell to his friends or his families saying like, okay, don't purchase, the product is good but the service is very bad. So always it's both, sales should be good and also service should be good, otherwise your business will not grow. And why service is required really? Because today I have purchased one product and the same company is giving me one more product next year. Okay, if I want to purchase the other product, or else if I'm satisfied with the product which I purchased, I will tell, okay, my family friends saying like, okay, this product is very good and these guys do the service better, please purchase their product which is the next version which is coming next year. So like this your business will go whenever the service is good. Okay. And why service fails? Like same thing. When a person calls you and he will tell, okay, I have some issue with my product, my refrigerator. Can you please come to my home? So if he calls in that way, first thing what call center people should understand or should have the information is who is this customer who's calling, when he purchased, what kind of product, the version he has. All this information he has to be handy. You cannot tell that customer saying like, okay, sir, our system, I need to go and check in various systems your information. Once I get your information, I'll call you back. So like that, this kind of an answer you cannot give it to customer. If you say in this way and you say after 1 hour I'll get back to you, no one is ready to listen you, right? Everyone customer wants immediate responses. So this is the, and why this happened? Because you don't have a proper system. The data which is which about the customer you have, right? It is into various system. Like I have the customer information in one system, like in mainframe, and I have his previous history or his product information into some product system, which is also handled in some other Salesforce. Like this, various systems, a particular agent has to go and open and check and then come back to you and tell like, okay, sir, can you tell what is your query? But meanwhile, the customer is no longer with you. Okay, he would have got fed up with you and he tell, okay, I don't want. So that's the reason you need to build a system which will give you uh, overall overall picture of that particular customer. Like as soon as the customer calls you, you have to tell him, okay, sir, hi, sir. You have to tell him his name. Okay, hi, Anil, hi, Sunil. Okay, I see like you have purchased recently our product. So thanks for that. First of all, he may thank you. Then he can you can also say him like, okay, sir, I see like there is a due for your service in next 1 month. Are you willing to take that? And we are also already making sure that one technician is coming to your house for doing the free service. If you say this immediately, oh, he will also get that like trust on you. The customer will get, okay, this guy knows everything about me, and he also didn't forget about the service that he has to provide me, which for the same reason I have also called actually. Okay, so that is the trust you have to build him. So to do that, you need a system which will give you all this information in one place. Okay. So for that reason, we need something called call center applications. In Salesforce, the same thing, it's been implemented using Service Cloud. So that is what we are going to look into. What are the different things that comes under Service Cloud that we are going to do to check. Okay, next. So for this entire series, right, instead of going with the actual, whatever the example which I told you about the refrigerator, I'll be mainly giving you more demo or more project implementation on the airlines industry. So why service is required for airlines industry? Same. So I have booked a flight ticket from Hyderabad to Mumbai. Okay. And my booking date is next month 15th. Okay. So meanwhile, I understood like I need to carry two more luggages back. Okay. Extra luggages I want to carry. So how should I know? Like I should know whether is it allowed? Okay, if it's allowed, is there any extra charge that will be carried or it's not allowed? So to know this, I need to either open their website and see from any frequently asked questions, or I can call them, or I can email them, or I can chat them. So like this, there are various services that a customer requires while traveling from one place to other place using air, airlines or train or bus. Okay, here we are going with airlines. Okay, so that is the main reason. Like there are various reasons. Maybe there are services like the complaint. Maybe there is a complaint like I lost my baggage while coming from one place to another place using the particular airlines, or the food is very bad, which I ordered. Maybe the food is not so good or not tasty, or the food which I asked was not given, but something else was given. So that is one thing. And there may be a request like the cabin crew who was not so good with me. I want to complain on him. So there are other kinds of various requests like I want to cancel the flight. Okay, I want to get my payment. Maybe I canceled, but I didn't get my payment. So there are different kinds of requests I want to raise with the service center. So to do that, again, the same service cloud implementation is required to do that properly. Otherwise, again, you cannot call and tell, okay, if at all you call and tell, okay, I want to cancel my flight. You cannot tell, okay, I don't see your system right now. I need to see your details from other system. Please give me 15 minutes. I'll call you back. So that kind of things will not work. So you need to be very prompt and very fast to give this information to the customers. So to that reason, we also require Service Cloud in any industry, in any business. Okay. Sorry. So next thing is terminologies. So what are the different terminologies that can be used in airlines? As in any traveling kind of a scenario, like you have something called airlines, baggage, cabin crew. Okay, you can also have something of PNR numbers, passenger. These are the different jargons or the terminology that you will be using. There may be loyalty points which you will be giving to customers, premium lounge which you will be giving. So like this, various uh, terminologies that will be used. And why I'm stressing more on this is because in any project, when you go, you should understand the business, the project business, right? To whom you're working, like the project on which you're working and what is their business. And there will be, for each business, there will be different jargons and terminologies that we'll be using. So you should be familiar with those things also. It's not only understanding Salesforce, it's understanding about the business and their terminologies, how they speak. Like if you go to automobiles industry, right? There are some things like uh, what you call chassis number for any vehicle registration number, chassis number, engine number. So like that, insurance number for that particular vehicle. Like this, there are various jargons and terminologies specifically used for that particular industry. So that is also one important aspect that everyone should understand before working in any project. Okay. Next comes about the data model. So for the Service Cloud, there's a separate data model because in Service Cloud, the main object is case. Case is the main central object because Service Cloud is nothing but you will be taking care of cases. Like whenever there's a complaint or a request or a query, you'll be creating one case. Okay. So everything will be revolving around that particular object called case. But there are other objects also which are involved. Maybe in while going into the data model session, I'll be giving you more information about the Service Cloud data model and the data model that we'll be using in this flight airlines project implementation. Okay, but on a high, these are the few objects that can be used. Like one is accounts. So there are two types of accounts which we know. One is person account and service accounts. Sorry, business accounts. So person account is for the individual customers who is traveling from one place to another place. So he's an individual customer. So we call him as a person account because in person account and contact both are same. There are business accounts. Why business accounts comes into airlines industry? Because as a corporate company, I want to book tickets to my employees. So I comes under a business. For my business, I want to book. Maybe it's maybe a bulk booking or an individual booking, but it's under my company's name. It's not under a particular ex-employee's name. Okay. For that, business accounts comes into picture. I'm just giving an example. Okay. Next, contact. Like if at all it's a business account, you have a contact persons whom you will be reaching. Then, as I said, case is the actual object where you'll be raising the complaints, request, queries. So various things that comes under this case. Next, flight related information you want to store, you can store in flight object and passenger information. So always the account owner may or may not be the passenger, right? Suppose I have a login credentials with some airlines flight, okay, X flight company. But I'm not traveling. I'm booking ticket to my family. Since I'm not traveling, the passengers are the family members, but the account is on my name. Okay, so like this. So in passengers, you'll have passengers information. And suppose even though you are traveling, you are the account holder and you are one of the passenger. Maybe there are four more passengers who are coming with you. So like this, passengers information will be stored. Similarly, we have bookings information, like you want to book a ticket, a flight for four passengers. So booking will be in between flight and passengers, and booking will have booking details like booking date, the amount, everything. Okay. So like this, there are few more objects that comes under this data model, which we'll be looking in few further classes. Next comes communication channels. So when you think about contact centers, so contact center, service cloud. So contact center is nothing but where a customer can contact and raise a request, right? So that's the reason we call it as call center, contact center. So how many ways I can reach to contact center? So you can reach that is what we call it as communication channels. You can reach using phone. You can reach using web, like on a website. You can fill a form for a complaint or a raising a new request or a new query. You can call through their call center numbers. Then you can send an email, and you can also do a web chat or SMS chat, Facebook chat, any kind of chats. Okay. So these are the various channels that you can use and provide the service to the customers. Like in each channel, you'll have set of people who will be managing it. Next comes integration. So why integration? As I said, even for this airlines industry, my customer information is not stored in Salesforce. It's stored in mainframe where the master data is in mainframe where all the customer details are stored. Similarly, the payment related details is stored in something called payment system, which is handled in Java or .NET. Okay. And actually, in Salesforce, mainly we are developing Service Cloud, so we only store the customer inquiries and customer queries. So mainly we store all the information related to the cases and the various requests that has been uh, given to us. Okay. So when you want to get information about a particular flight, you need to query it and get it, right? In Salesforce, you will do a SQL query and you will get it. But if the customer data is not in your system, like there's one more scenario where the customer has some loyalty points which he can use it, right? And he want to get that information, but that information is not in your system. There's a loyalty system where in that the information is there. So to do that, you need integration. So without integration, I think there's no system as on today, because different data is being stored in different places because of various reasons. Maybe I feel like for Service Cloud, maybe I'll be using Salesforce, but for sales and for inventory management or for customer information, I use mainframe because I feel that is more reliable. Okay. So that's the thing. So that's the reason we need integrations, and we have middlewares like MuleSoft, which can do majority of the work. Like because I cannot understand mainframe language, and Salesforce can't understand mainframe can't understand Salesforce language, right? There should be a common medium where when I send a information using Salesforce Apex class, that information should be converted and shared with mainframe in the COBOL language. Similarly, if the system is based on Java, the Apex logic should be converted into Java, and it should be shared there, and the vice versa. So this is in between XML and JSON, which will be looking into it. It's not only about that. If you want to authenticate or you want to authorize the data that you want, similarly, you want to do some manipulations, conversions, everything will be handled by some middleware, which can take care of all these integrations. Okay. So for that reason, integration is surely required in any project. Next comes some of the tools that are being used. Okay, as a project, right? It's not like you'll not be having any tools, but you'll be working with many tools. Starting with while you start the development, you'll be using something called Git repositories management, where once you develop the some code, right, you need to push that code to some repository so that it will be a common place so that everyone can retrieve it and they can use that code and they can build on top of it. So that is the place where all the code goes, and through that the deployments happens to the next higher environments. So for that, Git repository, Git is the main tool that everyone should understand and know. Next come for the project management. As I said, while the Scrum Master is working on various sprints and project timelines, everything, right? There is this tool which is being used for him by him, and one more important person who will be using this is the business analyst. Where, as I said earlier, he'll be writing stories, right? Those stories are created on this tool in this tool, so that it will be shared with you and you will understand that. Okay, even testing team also uses this tool to create their test cases. Okay, so this is the main tool that you'll be using every day. Okay, without this, I think you'll not be, there's no project as on today. Next comes Confluence. So this is an important tool for the team's knowledge. Like suppose as an architect, Once I design a particular requirement, I share that information in a earlier we used to share in documents, but document is not the right way. So you can use this tool called Confluence where you will be writing the technical document information and you'll be loading it on that. So you'll be storing in that. So that is a central place where the information is shared even to the product owners, to all the teams, so that they can directly go there and see, okay, instead of that, you are asking SharePoint access and asking your seniors to give the access to the Word document and you download it, you open it. Instead of that, if you have the Confluence, you'll tell, okay, Confluence so and so number, you see this, you'll be getting this information. Okay. So this is the main tool that we'll be using. So there's one more thing where, so what happens is once your project is completed, like you completed the development, testing is done, even the deployment is done, and it went live. It's been worked by the agents for taking the customer queries. So during this time, there are some issues that agents see, and they raise those issues. So to us, so how they raise? They use something called this ServiceNow ticketing tool. It's the only one tool I'm saying. There are many tools, various tools out there, but one of the tool. So they raise the tickets. They raise the issue as a ticket. We call it as ticket. So that ticket comes to the development team or some other team called application maintenance team. We call it as AMS team. So who will be taking care of these issues? Like they know whatever we develop, maybe we'll be giving the knowledge sharing to them, and they'll be starting supporting those projects. Okay, we call them as support team. So for them, this tool is very important because they'll be getting issues in this tool, and each one will be working on that issue. Next. Yeah. So this it's normally about the security model that we will be seeing in every project. Even every project starts with this understanding, like how the users, what kind of users are there in the system, who will be using it, and to whom the record should be shared, or who should see the records, who should not see the records. Like this, everything will be there even for this Service Cloud project also. So where we will be understanding about users, profiles, permission sets, record sharing. There are many things, like we also have something specific to case related. We call it as case teams. Okay. Queues we have, groups we have. There are various security concepts that we have to discuss when we are working with Service Cloud. Okay, that will be taking more into the in our future videos. Next, other areas, like as I said, one is deployment area where you will be interacting with the deployment team, and you will be asking them to deploy your logic or code, or they will be sharing you some repository location where you have to deploy your code. Next come testing team. These are the guys who will be raising any issues. We call it as bugs. They'll be raising bugs, and you should fix those bugs. And very commonly, you should have close interaction with the testing team because you should make sure you are understanding to them, and maybe they may not be understanding the logic properly sometimes. So sometimes they may raise a bug which is not really a bug. So you should have a close coordination with these guys. Next come AMS team, as I told you, once the code is into production and issues start coming in production, this is the team who will be working, will be taking care of production issues. Okay, next. Okay, lastly, we are coming into the last slide where what are the different topics that we will be covering in this total session is something like we'll be creating a service cloud related application. So that is nothing but application creation, and then we'll be concentrating more on access management, about the security concepts, how we need to design security for the service cloud project. Next comes the data model, as I said, project related data model, and you should also understand the service cloud related data model, which is already there given by Salesforce, and what are the various channels like email, web, telephony. Then we also have something called knowledge management. It's very important concept in Salesforce Service Cloud. So all these few topics are related to mainly on Service Cloud. Something like case assignment rules, why we go with that, auto response rules, and one important topic is omni-channel routing, where what is the best example is like suppose I call and my call should route to the right person. It should go to the right person in the agent, right? Like there are two agents who are sitting, and one guy know about the product very well, and one guy is more into sales understanding. He doesn't know more of the product. So when my issue comes, it should go to the right technician, right? So how that is been developed. So to do that, we use something called omni-channel routing. Next, there is something called matching and duplicate rules. Suppose you're creating the same case multiple times. You should make sure that your your org doesn't have duplicate records, more duplicate records. Okay, you should have such kind of system where it'll identify, okay, a new record is being created and it is a duplicate. So you should remove that duplicates. Next come entitlements, like as I told you, right? When I purchase a product, um, I may give you a extra support saying like, okay, if you purchase this extra, if you pay an extra 150 rupees or 100 rupees more, we'll give you three years warranty or 3 years service, free service, something like that. So that kind of information, you can use something called entitlement process, which will give you that information. Next come escalation rules. As the name suggests, some I've raised a complaint and it's not been handled by the agent. So after 5 days, it goes to his manager, so that his manager will come into picture and he will solve the issue. Okay. And something called for chat, we can use something called bots. As of now, you'll be seeing in many websites like bot will be answering your questions, right? So for that, we can use Einstein bot. And newly, Salesforce is starting with Agent Force to remove bot. Instead of the bot, we can use Agent Force directly. So that also we'll understand. Then we'll also see what about integration, how we'll integrate, since we don't have licenses, right? We cannot directly use MuleSoft. MuleSoft is a licensed product. We'll see the concepts and we'll make sure like we'll connect from one system to other system. So how it has been connecting, we'll see all those things. And we'll also see some AMS related activities. Suppose we are into project and we are going into AMS. So what are the different things that they will do? We should understand that. One important thing that every AMS team do is release updates. So since we know Salesforce do a release every 4 months once, right? 3 times a year. So when a release comes, how it is impacting our existing code, we should understand and we should provide the analysis, and we should up to date. Otherwise, what happens is Salesforce has suggested, okay, from tomorrow onwards, process builders are not working, but you have written 10 process builders. So it'll be a problem, right? Your product will stop and your business will stop. So you should understand every release. Next come how they will track and fix, how you debug the issues. You should understand that also. It's not like only development team is there. Sometimes you may be getting a chance to work in AMS. So then you should also understand how to debug the issue when some issue comes. Sometimes the issues may be very minor issues, but there are some issues which needs to be fixed in 1 hour or one day. Then how you will do that? You should have that capability. Next, we'll also see some introduction about some AI related features like Einstein classification in Service Cloud, Einstein case wrap-up, so Einstein summary. So there are various things that AI is doing nowadays in Service Cloud, Einstein for articles, knowledge articles. So all these things we'll be looking into this course. Hope I have given you all the information about the course in this first session. So yeah, that's all. Thank you. Let's meet in the next session. Thank you.